Okay, so I'm re-recording this for like the third time at this point, the intro. So somebody asked me to go ahead and fight the Bedrock Wither inside of Bedrock Edition. And they told me to do it solo, just like I just did the Java Wither, and I said challenge accepted. So I went ahead and did that. Now I would say that I'm probably an above average gamer dude, but I'm not, like, the best person in the universe. So, just to be fully transparent, I am recording this, once again, a third time. I have fought the Wither on 2 different recordings. Admittedly, I fought it more than once on both of those recordings. I don't know which one I'm going to use, if I'm going to show them all, etc, etc, but the last one I just did is I used fully iron gear with just protection 4 and feather falling, and a smite 5 diamond sword with a power 5 bow, and called it a day. I think I used like a golden apple, also just 1 golden apple. Admittedly, it was on a super flat world, so I guess take it with a grain of salt. It was probably, well, easy for me on a super flat because it's, super flat. There's not really anything you can accidentally run into or something that reduces your movement. So take that with a grain of salt. You probably could still fight it, in full iron with protection 4 and feather falling 4. Because the biggest thing that actually does damage is not the initial explosion, which the armor will protect you from. It's actually the Wither effect on Bedrock Edition. The Wither effect does so much damage, and because you don't have the Java Edition saturation regen, there's like no real good way to actually regen the health naturally, so you have to have other means to regenerate health. And protection 4 actually reduces the damage of potion effects, fun fact. If you have the full set, it's reduced by 80%, which means the Wither effect goes from taking, like half a heart every half a second, which is, a full heart a second, which is pretty bad for you and your vitality. Instead, what it will do is it will take, 80% of that, so what is that? A heart a second. Instead, it does what? It would do 2 hearts every 10 seconds, which is like a heart every 5 seconds or something like that. Which is, 5 times. Which is pretty good. You can live 5 times longer while under Wither 2 effect. So, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. You probably don't need, like, protection 4. You could probably do it with protection 3. But protection is super necessary. Do not fight it with unenchanted armor. You will have pain. Feather falling is technically not required, though it does make a bunch of holes. You might fall into a cave. It also makes like a big giant like diggy hole sometimes, which if you fall into or get knocked into, you're probably screwed without feather falling. So do keep that in mind. Probably have that. Have some form of regeneration. Enchanted golden apples, the best, so if you can get your hands on one of those, eat it whenever you want. Gives you tons of extra hearts, which make it, pretty difficult to die sometimes. It gives you resistance, which is 20% damage reduction, and before you ask, the 80% and 20% are taken at different times. It's not 100% damage reduction, it's not additive, it's multiplicative. So then, probably the best option other than enchanted golden apples is probably regular golden apples. Regular golden apples give you 2 extra hearts, they also give you regen, they also give you saturation. Which means you will get your natural regen, you will get a bonus regen, and you also get more health, which, is probably actually just the best out of all of these. Instant health is really good. Gives you health instantly. If you get, like, for instance, in second phase, it will start ramming you, and when it rams you, it does a frick ton of damage. just use an instant health 2 potion, you'll be fine. Regen stews are probably the cheapest out of all of them. They will keep you alive against the wither effect, assuming that you have at least protection 4 on everything, but you're not going to really be regenerating much health. They also give you saturation, so you also get natural regen. But yeah, instant health 2 potions are probably better. If you can get regeneration potions, assuming you have protection 4 on everything, will basically counteract the wither effect. The only problem is regeneration potion. The longest duration you can have is 2 minutes, and well, the shortest duration is 22 seconds. So you're going to need a lot of them. They also require gas tiers. Not very fun. Now, you do need a sword. Who would have guessed that one? Because second phase, you need to hit it with a melee weapon, which means I guess you could also use a mace. You could also probably use what's its face, the spear too. You could also use a trident, but honestly a sword is just the most, like, one, I guess. Go ahead and just put smite 5 if you can. Sharpness 5 also probably works. It's not like because sharpness 5 on Bedrock Edition just gives you plus 5 damage. It's not that bad. Admittedly, smite 5. I think smite 5, if I'm not incorrect, gives you like plus 3 damage per level, which is like 15 damage in total, so that brings your damage in total to like 22 damage or something, which is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, I would say that's pretty good, being able to hit things like a freaking truck with 22 damage, but with sharpness 5 you do what, like plus 12 damage, which is also not that bad. Maybe it's like half the damage, but it's good enough if you don't have a smite 5. Anyways, totems are undying if you really want to. They're not really necessary. It really depends on how much you suck. I'm not going to lie to you, the Wither fight is probably more difficult than doing a raid anyways. There's so many ways to cheese raids also. You could just, set up a raid farm if you really wanted to. Get a bunch of totems. They will help you out a bunch. Now, bow, you don't need power 5. Power 5 will just make your life so much better. You don't need infinity either, but if you don't have infinity, you're going to need a lot more stacks of arrows, etc., etc. Do try and do it in like a plains biome. Flat ground does help out. Don't do it in like the mountains, especially since it does have some knockback, and sometimes it does launch you in the air. And if you get knocked back and launched into the air and you're flying off a cliff of a mountain, have fun with that. You do want to avoid to take as much damage as possible, mainly because, once again, the Wither effect, Wither 2 effect, even with I think 4 protection 4 diamond equipment, will still do more damage than your natural regen will heal. So you want to avoid taking damage because the Wither effect will slowly eat away at you. And I think that if you only have, what, like 2 hearts of health left, even if you have your natural regen going, and you have 30 seconds of Wither 2, you will still die to Wither 2. So try and not go down to 2 hearts. If you're like at like 2 hearts and you have no totems, you have no instant health pots, you have no regen, you have nothing, probably just like get as far away from the Wither as possible before you die, or it will probably blow up your stuff kind of deal. So yeah, I guess keep that in mind, and well, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's play it now. Wither. There we go. Pop that. Now, admittedly, this is like a perfectly flat area, but it's also you could flatten the area if you really want to. There'll usually be like some hills in a plain biome or something. Honestly, perfectly flat land is not even that good, especially since it blows holes in it in anyways. I don't even know how that one hit, but the other one didn't. Ah, got it. Yeah, you can see firsthand how much the wither effect does versus how much the actual hit does. You know, I did realize I'd popped the strength version, but we can't even use it. There we go. Okay, he goes ahead and does that. Okay. It does what, like 3 volleys and then it dashes? Yep, there's the dash. Yes, dash. And that is the Bedrock Wither. What do we use? 2 strength pots, which I realistically only used 1. A Smite 5 sword. We didn't even use the totem. 1 golden apple. And a power 5-0. And let's just check the difficulty again. Survivor hard mode. So it is pretty I feel like saying easy is not the right word. If you know what you're doing, it's not difficult. Where the frick did I put my bed anyways? I don't see it like anywhere. Did I explodify it? Definitely killed some animals. This looks like where I spawned it. Yep, there's my bed. Turns out beds are entities. What? Why did they disappear like that? That's so odd. Anyways, now I want to go ahead and try this. Now this one I definitely want a totem for. This one's just for more haha funny. Yes, fly over here. Okay, I flew too far away. We already got it down to second base. Actually, sometimes, I don't even know how this works, but sometimes it will just straight up dig, like, forever underground. And sometimes it will just not. And I don't know what that is about. Like, I genuinely have no clue. Ouch. Don't dash me. Ouch. Ooh. That's so funny. Anyways, the last tip I'm going to give for this video is, try and fight it on the surface. Trust me, you will love yourself a lot more if you try and fight it on the surface. When you try and fight it underground, it just like makes a bunch of holes and stuff, and there's not as much place to run and such. And without as much place to run and stuff, it can be definitely more difficult. So I guess keep that in mind. And if you are using end crystals, maybe you shouldn't spam them as much as I did on the Wither, but if you can get, you know, just like a few like really good connections, you probably could kill it pretty quickly without needing to use freaking half a stack. I actually genuinely used half a stack of obsidian and half a stack of crystals. That's kind of crazy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next one.